It all started with an unbearable headache, the kind of pain that doesn't let you think, that makes your vision blur, and even the sound of your own heartbeat feels like a hammer pounding your skull. It was as if something was pulsating inside my head, pressing from within. After several days like that, I finally decided to go to the hospital. The doctor seemed worried, and after examining me, he suggested an MRI to rule out something serious. I had no idea that this simple test would change my life forever. They made me lie down on the narrow stretcher and placed me inside the machine. The monotonous humming and rhythmic thumping filled the small space while I tried not to move. I closed my eyes to relax, but the discomfort didn't go away. I felt as if something was vibrating in my head, pulsing in sync with the machine. When the test was over, they asked me to wait in the room while they reviewed the images. More than 30 minutes passed, and I started to worry. Finally, the doctor returned, accompanied by 2 other physicians. Their faces were a mixture of astonishment and disbelief. They asked me to follow them to a small room where they projected the images on a screen. "Are you sure this is your name?" one of them asked, pointing to the file. "Yes, why?" I replied, heart pounding. "The images show." He paused, as if searching for the right words. "You have no brain." My first reaction was to laugh. I thought it was a joke or a machine error. But the doctors were completely serious. They showed me the images. The cranial cavity appeared completely empty, as if someone had removed the contents, leaving only a dark, hollow space. "There must be a mistake," I said, trying to sound rational. "I'm here talking, thinking." "We know," the doctor replied with a trembling voice. "That's why this is impossible." They ran more tests. X-rays, scans, reflex tests. Everything showed the same. There was no brain mass in my head. Yet my cognitive functions were normal. The doctors started murmuring among themselves, trying to find a rational explanation. Panic began to take hold of me. When they finally left me alone in the room, I looked at my reflection in the bathroom mirror. I stared into my own eyes, trying to understand how it was possible. That's when I noticed something strange. My pupils seemed to change shape for a second, elongating into vertical slits, similar to those of a reptile. I blinked several times, but everything returned to normal. I thought stress was affecting me. However, that night, when I got home, I started noticing other strange things. Sometimes I felt something moving inside my skull, as if tiny tentacles were sliding around. And when I focused on an object, it seemed to vibrate slightly, as if my gaze was distorting it. One early morning, while trying to sleep, I heard a whisper inside my head. At first, I thought it was my imagination, but the murmur became clearer. "They found out." I jumped up, turned on the light, and checked myself in the mirror. This time my eyes didn't change, but the headache returned with an intensity that nearly knocked me off my feet. The next day, I went back to the hospital looking for answers, but the doctors were no longer there. The staff told me that none of the doctors who attended me were listed in the hospital's records. A cold chill ran down my spine. Back at home, I checked the documents they gave me after the test, but the report was blank, as if someone had erased everything. Since then, every night I hear those whispers inside my head, speaking in a language I don't recognize. Sometimes, I feel something crawling behind my eyes, as if something is trying to come out. And the worst part is that I'm starting to have blackouts where I don't remember what I did or where I've been. I've woken up in unfamiliar places, with my hands covered in dirt or dust, and an empty feeling in my chest. I don't know what I really am, but I fear that whatever is inside my head is taking control. Sometimes, when I look in the mirror, I notice that my reflection smiles when I don't. And in my dreams, I see a gigantic eye watching me from the darkness, pulsing in sync with my headache. I know something is inside me, something that isn't human. Last night, I woke up to the sound of pounding from inside my skull, as if something were trying to break through the bone from the inside. The pain was unbearable, and for a moment, as I writhed on the floor, I swear I heard a low, mocking laugh from within my head. This morning, when I looked in the mirror, I noticed a small crack on my forehead, and a dark, viscous liquid began to slowly seep out. I think it's trying to get out, and when it does, I won't be the one who opens my eyes.